Imagine two presidents born a century apart yet bound by an uncanny number of parallels. This is the story of Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy, two iconic figures who have left indelible marks on the annals of American history. Their lives, though separated by 100 years, are intertwined by a series of remarkable similarities that go beyond their shared occupation. From their humble beginnings and ambitious political journeys, to their exceptional leadership styles, tragic assassinations, and enduring legacies, the parallels are as fascinating as they are inexplicable. We'll delve into their early life, explore their paths to the presidency, examine their leadership during times of crisis, and reflect on the circumstances of their tragic deaths. And finally, we'll ponder on their enduring legacies that continue to shape the United States as we know it. Join us as we journey through history, exploring the parallel lives of these two iconic figures. Abraham Lincoln, born in a humble log cabin, and John F. Kennedy, the offspring of a wealthy businessman, yet both destined for greatness. Lincoln, the self-made man from the backwoods of Kentucky, learned to read by firelight, his thirst for knowledge insatiable. Meanwhile, Kennedy, the pampered son of a wealthy businessman from Massachusetts, was groomed for leadership from an early age, his path paved by privilege. Yet despite their disparate beginnings, both men shared a common passion: politics. Lincoln, the rail-splitter turned lawyer, entered politics in his early 20s, his charisma and eloquence propelling him to prominence. Kennedy, the war hero turned senator, demonstrated a knack for leadership and a flair for public speaking that catapulted him into the national spotlight. From these contrasting beginnings, both Lincoln and Kennedy embarked on their political journeys, setting the stage for their ascension to the highest office in the land, the presidency of the United States. The path to the presidency for both Lincoln and Kennedy was marked by determination and resilience. A journey that began in the humblest of settings for Lincoln and in the lap of privilege for Kennedy led each of them to the highest office in the land. Abraham Lincoln, a self-taught lawyer from Illinois, started his political career in the Illinois state legislature. Known for his eloquence and wit, Lincoln rose through the ranks of the newly formed Republican Party. His famous debates with Stephen Douglas in 1858 for the Illinois Senate seat, though unsuccessful, catapulted him onto the national stage. Lincoln's stance against the expansion of slavery and his powerful oratory made him a popular choice for the Republican nomination in 1860, and he was elected as the 16th President of the United States. Halfway across the timeline of American history, John F. Kennedy's path to the presidency was carved out in the crucible of the 20th century. A decorated war hero, Kennedy returned from World War II to serve in the House of Representatives and later the Senate, representing the state of Massachusetts. His charisma, eloquence, and youthful energy captured the American imagination. Kennedy's vision for a new frontier and his television debate performance against Richard Nixon played pivotal roles in his narrow victory in the 1960 presidential election, making him the 35th President of the United States. Their paths to the presidency were as different as the eras they lived in. Lincoln, the rail-splitter turned lawyer, persevered through personal and political adversity. Kennedy, the war hero and senator, used his charisma and vision to win over the American public. Yet, their stories converge in the Oval Office, where they both left an indelible mark on the nation's history. Despite different eras, both men faced and overcame numerous challenges to reach the highest office in the land. Their journeys, while separated by a century, are united by their unwavering resolve and commitment to the nation. Leadership is often defined in times of crisis, and both Lincoln and Kennedy faced their share. They led the nation through some of the most turbulent moments in American history, each leaving an indelible mark on the country's trajectory. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president, is perhaps best known for his leadership during the American Civil War. His ability to navigate the nation through this bloody conflict was nothing short of remarkable. As a strategist, he was unyielding in his pursuit of unity, even in the face of overwhelming odds. As a communicator, he was able to articulate a vision of a united and emancipated nation that resonated deeply with many Americans. Meanwhile, John F. Kennedy, the 35th president, also faced significant challenges during his time in office. The 1960s were a time of great social upheaval, and Kennedy found himself at the forefront of the civil rights movement. He demonstrated an uncommon ability to empathize with the struggles of marginalized communities and to translate that empathy into political action. His efforts to advance civil rights legislation were instrumental in shaping the country's path towards equality. In their own ways, both presidents displayed remarkable leadership in the face of crisis. Each used their unique strengths as communicators and strategists to guide the nation through periods of immense change and uncertainty. In their unique ways, both Lincoln and Kennedy steered the nation through turbulent times. Tragically, both Lincoln and Kennedy's presidencies were cut short by assassinations. Let's delve into the chilling circumstances that marked the end of these iconic presidencies. On a fateful evening in April 1865, President Abraham Lincoln attended a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. Little did he know, it would be his last. A well-known actor, John Wilkes Booth, snuck into the president's box and shot him in the back of the head. Lincoln succumbed to his injuries the following morning, leaving a nation in shock and despair. Fast forward to November 1963, and another beloved president met a similarly tragic fate. While on a campaign trip in Dallas, Texas, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in broad daylight as he rode in a motorcade through Dealey Plaza. A former Marine, Lee Harvey Oswald, was arrested for the crime but was himself murdered before he could stand trial. These shocking events sent shockwaves through the country and the world. The grief was palpable as people grappled to make sense of the senseless. Both presidents were mourned by millions, their funerals watched by teary-eyed citizens who felt a personal connection to these charismatic leaders. Their untimely deaths left a nation in mourning and the world in shock. The void left by their passing was felt deeply, underscoring the profound impact they had made during their time in office. Despite their tragic ends, the legacies of Lincoln and Kennedy live on. Both presidents left an indelible mark on American history, shaping the nation's identity and values in profound ways. Lincoln, the great emancipator, is remembered for his unwavering commitment to union and freedom during the turmoil of the Civil War. His leadership and the Emancipation Proclamation forever altered the course of American history. On the other hand, Kennedy, a beacon of hope and youth, championed civil rights and aimed to propel America into a new frontier of scientific discovery and social progress. His inspiring speeches and charismatic leadership continued to captivate the hearts of many. In popular culture, literature, and public memory, both Lincoln and Kennedy are commemorated as iconic figures. Their stories have been retold countless times, their images ingrained in our collective consciousness. And so, despite the passage of time, their legacies endure, their stories continue to inspire. Their contributions to the nation's identity and values continue to resonate today. The parallels between Lincoln and Kennedy extend beyond their lives to their deaths. It's almost eerie. Both were assassinated on a Friday, both by men who were known by three names: John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald. And both of these assassins met untimely ends before they could be properly tried. There's a numerological coincidence that further binds them together. Lincoln was elected to office in 1860. Kennedy a century later in 1960. Both their successors, Johnson by name, were Southern Democrats and both were in the Senate before their presidencies. But let's not get lost in the uncanny. These parallels, while fascinating, are ultimately a reflection of broader patterns in history and the human experience. They serve as reminders of the cyclical nature of time, the recurring themes in leadership, and the shared human experience that unites us all. These parallels, while intriguing, remind us of the shared human experience, even in the face of great leadership and historical significance. In exploring the parallel lives of Lincoln and Kennedy, we uncover a fascinating tapestry of American history. Their humble beginnings and privileged upbringing respectively, their early political ambitions, and their paths to the presidency all weave together to form an intriguing narrative. Their leadership in times of crisis, their tragic assassinations, and their enduring legacies further add to this captivating story. Both Lincoln and Kennedy navigated tumultuous times, demonstrating leadership that left lasting imprints on the nation. Their commitment to civil rights and their ability to steer the country through crisis are lessons of resilience and perseverance that continue to inspire. The similar circumstances of their untimely deaths and the numerological coincidences have only served to heighten the fascination with these two iconic figures. As we look back on their extraordinary lives, we are encouraged to delve deeper into their stories and the lessons they offer for our society today.